Hello, everyone. I think we're live. There are some people already attending our event. Welcome to our Q&A session. All you want to know about SLS technology. And I will start with our guest, Valentin. Let me introduce. Valentin is a sales and a key account manager on the powder bed fusion business line in BASF Forward AM. And Valentin, I don't know if you want to say something to our guests.
Yes, hello. Also welcome from my side. I'm looking forward to your questions today. And yeah.
Okay, thank you. And we have Stefan. Stefan is head of powder bed fusion on business line as well in BASF Forward AM. I will give the floor to Stefan.
All right. Hello, everybody. Happy to be here and be part of the webinar. And we're, of course, very happy to answer your questions.
Okay, thank you. And we have Radek. It's our channel manager.
Welcome, everybody. I think that we are going to have a tremendous session. So I'm looking forward to having all those questions coming.
And also Michał, it's our application engineer.
Yeah, hello everyone. Nice to be here with you guys.
And me. I'm a Chief Marketing Officer at Sinterit. And okay, today we're gonna answer the questions. First of all, we're gonna start with already asked questions, but please give us another questions using the form. At the right side, you have a questions tab, and please click it, and then you can type your questions there. So okay, we'll start with the questions that was asked via the form. And okay, let's start. The first question is: do you plan to release a Linux macOS version of the Sinterit Studio? Basically, today we have a PC version. We do not have any plans to release Linux or macOS version, but if there would be more requests from the clients, we'll take care of it. Okay, are the new Sinterit machines use nitrogen? Yes, both of the machines, so the Lisa X and the Niels 480, they both have a nitrogen chamber. You don't need to be nitrogen. You can use any gas, and it's more like argon or whatever is your need, especially in research purposes. So answering straight, yes. What accuracy and tolerance can be achieved by SLS technology? I believe it's Michał.
Yeah, of course, I will answer that questions. So minimal wall thickness and minimal hole diameter is from 0.5 millimeters. And in case of moving parts, clearance is from 0.2 millimeters.
What maximum elasticity parameters can I achieve on PA11 Onyx, and how do they change over time? It's a great question to Stefan.
Absolutely. So PA11 is one of the most ductile and tough materials in the PBF world, reaching elasticity or elongation at break of in a range of 40 to 50% even, and also a toughness of almost 200 kilojoule per square meter. Of course, it is a technical material, so it is well stabilized so that the material properties will be kept over a long period in application.
Thank you. How the properties of the PA11 prints on this printer differ from those on Fuse? Is a nitrogen chamber needed? It's a really good question, especially that we can say hello for a few friends from Formlabs that are already attending our event. Basically, there are different materials, and what we found out with our material, that nitrogen chamber can significantly increase the final properties of the printout and prevent of material aging. And for this need, definitely the chamber is needed. and it's all about the final printouts properties. And let me say in different. We always ask clients to compare our printouts on PA11 with a nitrogen chamber to the one that was printed without nitrogen. How long can powder stay in the printer? Will there be quality loss or not able to reuse anymore? And basically what we always recommended is to clean up the printer after you finish the printing. If you are not starting another print intermediately, it's more like to clean it up and close in a sealed container. And then it can stay like a really long time. Is vapor smoothing possible with all PA12 and PA11 materials?
Yes, I'm happy to answer that question. Vapor smoothing is in general possible for PA12 and PA11 materials. There are different technologies and providers you could choose from. So we usually really try to work with all our materials and as many providers as possible so that they have the parameters available. But I would say that the most common ones are all able to smooth PA12 and PA11.
I think it's another question to you. Can I increase the tensile strength by heating the prints? And what's the recommended temperature for PA11?
So the printing temperature for PA11 is in generally a bit higher, roughly 5 degrees higher than for PA12, as the melting temperature is also a bit higher. The tensile strength is only partially influenced by the print temperature. Of course, you need to be in an optimum setting to reach best part quality and detail resolution and mechanical properties. But overall, you can expect a strength more or less in the same range of PA12.
How durable is the coating, and what's a chemical factor is it resistant to?
I take that question. Especially the durability is a very important fact for the coating. I mean, you add a certain layer, and as soon as the adhesion is guaranteed, and we did a lot of tests for that, it really improves abrasion resistance. For example, we did some martindale testing. It's quite common in the automotive industry. And we saw significant improvements in abrasion resistance for smooth parts, but also for raw parts with the added coating layers. We also did some chemical testing, and I'm happy to share afterwards more results with you.
Does PA11 age during storage? Does the material once used age faster?
So in general, if the material is stored in originally sealed package so that environmental conditions do not have an effect, there's basically no chemical or physical expiration. So we haven't actually found any aging during storage yet. Of course, the material ages a bit during the manufacturing process, but if you just follow the standard recycling and refresh recommendations, you will have a steady state process.
What certificates are available for sinterit powders? Stefan, I think it's your question. Yeah.
Yeah. So in general, it depends on the different powder that you are going to work with. Of course, we do have, let's say, standard certificates of regulatory nature that go into direction of trading components and so on. And further data like any certificate, for example, in direction of skin contact or any other topic. It's a quite wide field. We are happy to answer on request and on specific application and material of interest.
When will printers be able to print from colored powders? I don't know if someone want to answer the question. Okay, so I will try. Basically, today we have two colors. The gray, that is the most commonly used in our offer, and something that we called white, but it's not fully white, from the flexible materials. And there are no possibilities to print from colored powders today, but we have a different solution that can cover it even in a better way, the coatings, the colored coatings. What is aging period of PA12 prints and loss of their properties? Michał? Yeah.
Yeah, again, basically there's no loss of properties if the refresh recommendation is followed upon recommendations. Of course, the powder ages during print, which is not used, but the material is designed that it would work steady state in a refresh cycle, so that there's no loss and a steady state evolution of printed part properties over time.
Is it possible to control printing parameters, laser power, layer height, scan speed, and scan spacing?
So let me answer this question. So basically, yes, it's possible in Sinterit Studio to control printing parameters. You're able to control many parameters just in Sinterit Studio, but in Sinterit Studio Advanced, you can access even more open parameters. So we have 32 open parameters to change very different areas of using the printer. So you can use other powders, or you can fine-tune the powders that you are using. So basically you have a lot of possibilities with all those parameters.
Does the open system allow to use all of BASF powders?
So in general, if the system is open, the materials could be processed if they are black, which applies, for example, for TPU black and PA11 black. The system, however, is not capable to print PA6 types, which have special recommendations in regard to printing technology of even higher temperature. But let's say for the more commonly used materials, the open system would allow it. In general, we recommend to use the optimized materials for Sinterit through the Sinterit channels, as they have a ready-made package of optimized material and parameter package.
What is the cost per cubic centimeter, including the nylon material PA12? I think it's, I mean, we never calculate the price of the print in this way, or I reckon it's about the already printed parts. It's more like we always calculate the printouts based on the quantity, how many prints you can do on the one run, and here it's PA12, but then the material, which one you want to use it. And most of the time, Michał, our application engineer, providing something that we called return on investment report that based on your SEA file, we can calculate it directly for you.
Yeah, sure. And roughly approximation of 1 centimeter of the PA12 is roughly 12 cents.
Okay, thank you. Is there a puring process during printing needed? I think it's more about FDM technology. There is nothing like this in SLS. There's only the powder poured into the printer, and then so there is nothing like this in SLS. How do you keep the moisture out of powder?
So basically, we at Sinterit have the containers for powder. So if, as Stefan said, if the powder is in closed container and it's sealed, it's not affected by moisture. So the moment in the process where powder can be affected by moisture is after printing. So if you keep your powder in the printer for extended period of time, of course it can capture moisture. So how to keep it safe, basically, after printing, put it back to sealed container that you bought the powder in.
What varieties of materials exist and what mechanical properties they have?
So maybe it's a quite general question. I try to cover it as short as possible. So of course, let's say the more or less standard materials for PBF are PA11 and PA12 as quite solid materials. But in the last months and years, the material range for PBF has been increased and extended very much. So that today we're talking about also polypropylene, for example, as a more ductile alternative with better chemical resistance, or flexible materials like TPA and TPU, which would allow for applications requiring really flexible materials. So that overall, and including also reinforced materials like the carbon fiber filled PA11, we cover the range from fully flexible to fully stiff and strong.
Oh, that's a question asked in our Insta account. How to deal with powder trap without leaving a spot in the printout?
Okay, so I'll try to answer that question. So let's say you want to print a sphere when there is no hole for the powder to escape. So the only option is to leave the powder inside, and this is completely okay. If you want to have a better strength of the model, you can always design the honeycomb structure inside, and the powder won't be shaking inside. But if there is no hole, the powder won't exit the model, so you will stick with the powder inside, and it's fine for us.
How could I magnetize printouts in the process of sintering powder? Well, basically, I mean, to magnetize any powder, it needs to contains any ferritized particles, and our powders does not. And we know some clients that they already printed with the powder designed by their own, with the particles inside, and they do magnetize it after. So once they finish the printout, they do magnetize, but there is no possibility during the process. Can I print with powders purchased outside of Sinterit?
Yes, of course, you can. Sinterit provides you with open parameters and open software, and you can print from the third-party materials. You can even develop your own materials. One of our customers even developed the material that he used to print medical pills from that material that you can swallow. So there is no limit here. We give you complete open solution for you to experiment. And if you don't want to experiment, we provide you the material templates that you can use, and use our materials, of course.
Yeah, I will add just to this question that our printers, Lisa Pro, Lisa X, and Niels have open parameters that allow you to use any third-part powder and try, at least if you can print out of this. Okay, is it possible to paint the printed parts?
Once again, yes, it's possible. We advise you to apply the primer first, and then you can use, for example, acrylic paints to paint the model with your needs. So yes, of course, it's possible.
Yeah, and it's a very good question also to Valentine. Valentine, how many colors do we have in the coating now?
Yeah, maybe to add here, we have a special coating, a flexible one, which is especially for flexible applications, but it also works for PA12 and PA11, not only for flexible materials. And there we have a standard range of 10 colors, but it's also possible to develop your own color, basically based on a color code or on a specific sample. So there's a huge variety and endless possibilities in terms of colors in principle.
What have other companies done with SLS 3D printing, and how has it benefited them?
Well, so this is a very complex question, but what already was said during this webinar, what Michał said, and also what Stefan mentioned, there are many possibilities with this technology. So we have customers from medical sector, but also depending on the material that they are using, they have different application. For example, if someone is using PA11 with carbon fiber, those materials are used in more technical application for a small batch of parts that are used in factory plants and other technical application. There are also some applications for the flexible materials as well, with industry like doing gaskets. So there are a lot of application for this technology around the world. We are mostly used probably for prototyping. This is the first and the easiest answer. But there are more applications that I can ever imagine. So every day I'm surprised with our customers how great application they find for our printers.
What is the powder refresh limit?
Okay, so I'll try to answer that question. So if I understand the question properly, so how many times can you refresh the same powder? So as our friends from BASF told us, there is no such a limit. If you store the powder properly, if you refresh it in the sieve, if you keep the refresh recommendation of Sinterit, there is no such thing as limit of the refresh times per given powder. So please stick with the procedure and you will be fine.
Okay, how much pressure can polypropylene prints withstand?
Okay, I will take that question also. So we communicate that the polypropylene parts should withstand 10 bars. But one of our customers did their own test and he achieved over 40 bars. But of course, it all depends on the design of the model, of the wall thickness. So it's like it all depends on the design.
What kind of face mask is advised for working on a powder handling station?
Okay, I will take that as well. So standard COVID mask will be completely fine. Of course, you can use the FFP2 mask if you only want to. We also advise you to wear nitrile gloves, but Sinterit gets you covered here, and all that equipment is included in the dedicated powder tools. So everything comes with the package with the printer.
Okay, for what materials do you need a nitrogen system?
Okay, once again, I will take that question. So you need to have the nitrogen system for all the PA11 materials, which are PA11 Onyx, PA11 ASD, and PA11 carbon fiber.
Does the print show the asymmetric strength Z direction?
Well, I believe this is a question based mostly on FDM users. So we can say that the prints from powder bed fusion technology are isotropic. So basically, there is not a huge difference between each axis. So we can say that they are isotropic. So there are no significant differences in z-axis. So also, we do not suffer from problems like delamination as in other technologies.
Okay, I think we already asked all the questions that were asked during the forum, and now it's a part with the live questions. I will try to pick all the questions. We'll see if we can answer them. Okay, I will start with the first one. Is it possible to get PA12 in white? And if so, is it possible to color it once printed? Today, it's not, as our laser do not sinter the white powder. So there is no possibility. All powders are gray. But there is a Flexa Bright that is like a white powder. This one, yes, it can be colored.
And I would like to add to this what Valentin said before. We have a possibility of coating PA12 and elastic parts with the coatings, so you can have any of 10 colors and possibly more if you have this need for different color of the printout.
And also, maybe good to mention, in addition to that, there's also the option of dyeing if you want to change the color, which is in general quite difficult with darker or gray materials, especially if you really want to have a bright white. So there is a coexistence of those two technologies, but for your question and to have a really bright white part, it's definitely a coating here.
Okay, Alexander asked, what is the process to mix the new powder with the old powder?
Okay, I can answer that question. So the procedure is pretty simple and straightforward. After you finish your project in Sinterit Studio, the software will give the exact amount of the fresh powder that you have to mix with the used one. So you put depending on the refresh ratio, you put, for example, in the case of PA12, you put the 22% of the fresh powder and 78% of the used powder. You mix it together in the sieve or in the PHS, and you are ready to go.
Okay, thank you. And that's a really good question from Marcelo. Is it possible to achieve smooth and shiny surfaces with the PA12 with some chemical or mechanical post-processing?
So yeah, basically, as it was mentioned before, it's possible to do some smoothing. For example, vapor smoothing. There are different companies which are doing vapor smoothing. So it's possible to make a shiny, glossy surface for nylon parts.
Thank you. The question from Camille: Do you have plans to produce your own nitrogen generator for sale? No, we don't, but we have a clear recommendation on this unit. So all you need to do is just ask our after-sales department, and they will give you a clear recommendation on the best nitrogen generator that fits our requirements for the printing. Okay, and Kathum, can we recycle of the leftover material to the next print?
Okay, maybe I'll try to answer those questions. I don't know if I understand it correctly, but if you ask about the already sintered parts, little parts that you no longer need anymore, so basically not. We can recycle that. You should, put it in the trash and follow the procedure of your local requirements about how to dispose that material. But about the powder, yes, of course, I already answered the question later on about the refreshing procedure. So yes, the unsintered powder you can refresh and reuse. But already parts that are sintered and you don't want to use it anymore, there is no other way to go to the trash.
Okay, and the next question from Andrea: does the printer recognize the powder loaded, or can you load a program?
So basically, the printer does not recognize the powder you have put in, but you have to choose which powder you are using. So basically, during the preparation of a model, you are choosing which powder you are going to use on your Lisa or Sinterit printer, and basically, printer will know the parameters to print with, and the printer will guide you what to do and how to achieve the best possible results.
Okay, the next question from Shihan: can we print without nitrogen, and what are the effects if so? Okay, I will try to answer this question, and basically you can try. It's like if you can I? Yes, always. I mean, it's like our printers are very commonly used for any research purposes, and we have like a clear information about really strange testing on our printers done with materials, but the PA11 powder, you will achieve way more better properties when you use nitrogen. And our recommendation is to use the nitrogen. And for the other materials, there is no need, like for PA12, that is our base material, there's no need to use the nitrogen.
Maybe to add very briefly just on the effects, of course, the nitrogen helps to achieve long-time performance and long-time consistency without any degradation. So it would help optimizing the consistency of part printouts and also the recycle rate.
Yeah, thank you, Stefan. The right guy to answer the question. Okay. Can we use fuse 1 PA powder with Sinterit Lisa? Very good question, commonly asked. Basically, some of our clients already try. We never try this. So I know it's not the full question, but really we haven't tried. Okay, does the product strength depend on orientation and or layer height?
So I can answer. As Michael said before, I mean the isotropy, depending on build orientation in PBF in general, is quite good. In strength, you would probably not see any difference at all. If so, you would only see a very, very slight dependency on elongation at break, which is always the most sensitive parameter. But still, the Z elongation is highest in PA11 amongst any other material on the market. In regard to dependency on layer height, of course, the higher the layer height, the more tricky it is to fully fuse the material. So the mechanical properties might go down, but of course the print speed will go up.
Okay, thank you. Another question from Shihan. Any plans to have NSAs or promotional pricing in the near future? I will answer. Basically, I mean, that was the base idea for us to give the clients a chance to start using SLS with the lower possible price. And our strategy is not the sales or the promotion. It's more like giving a really fair price from the very beginning. Okay, that's a question from Akhil. One of my customer using one different brand and using BASF PA12. Is there any difference with BASF PA12 coming with Sinterit by comparing to his current BASF PA12?
It's a bit of a tricky question because we do not sell PA12 to the open market. So I assume the PA12 source is a different one. So I'm not able to give any comparative answer, not knowing the source.
Okay, thank you. And Kathum is asking if what is the best adhesive do you recommend it to stick to printed parts?
I think that it really depends on the material that you're using, but many of our customers are good enough with cyanoacrylic glue, gluing the parts. I have had many of the people from, let's say, hobbyists and models that were using not glue, but snap fit design in order to connect parts together.
Yeah, so basically, I don't know how does it look in your country, but in our country, it's called super glue, and it works perfect.
Yeah, basically, you can try cyanoacryl, epoxy, or even neoprene glue. So you can choose the best way.
Okay, and the question from Maxim. If I wanted to use multiple materials, may I have multiple sieve? Or is it sustainable to clean the sieve every time?
Well, I'll answer. I will try to answer this question. So basically, if you plan to use every print different material, it's wise to have multiple sieves because it will save you a lot of time. But if you are willing to spend time to clean the sieve, and it's not very hard, but you will have to invest this time, you can do it. So basically, yeah, it's possible to clean the sieve and to keep only the one sieve or powder handling station with your printer, but it's probably much more effective to use multiple ones if you plan to change the material very often.
Okay, another question from Akhil. If one customer standardized the SLS process and BASF materials for his application and using worldwide, can he also get a Sinterit and BASF powder? Does he need to worry about the standardization, need to standardize again? Okay.
I'm not sure what exactly is meant with standardization. I guess it's a form of process qualification. So we can, of course, support on that if the basic process analysis has been done on one specific powder grade. We would need to specifically check what would it mean to transfer that to another powder. So it depends on the powder type and the case-by-case analysis we're happy to support with.
Thank you. And another question, how many years warranty the printer comes with? And is there any parts are recommended to change or replace regularly? Basically, the question is to figure it out the running cost of the machine for 1 year, 2 years, and 3 years.
I will try to answer this question. So basically, the printer comes with 1 year warranty, but it can be extended. So depending on where you are from, you'll have to contact your our local partner, who will let you know what are the possibilities of extending the warranty. So basically, the warranty can be extended, and there are, of course, some maintenance parts. But the maintenance, our philosophy was to create devices which are accessible. And by accessible, one of the things that we mean by accessible is an ease of maintenance and low cost of maintenance. So basically, there are some parts that have to be replaced every 200, 300 hours, but the replacing of those parts is very easy. We have video tutorials on our YouTube channel as well. But I would recommend to contact us or our local dealer to learn more about how it will be for 3 years or 2 years.
Yeah, and I will add to this question that in Lisa X and Lisa 480 solutions, so the sets that we provide, there is already included the set of materials that are needed for, I believe, 2,000 hours of printing.
Yeah, and I will add another sentence to this answer. I believe our approach is to allow customers a worry-free warranty. So basically, you can opt for a warranty that will take care of everything and will even supply you with the parts if your machine is down. So basically, please contact us and we'll give you all the details.
Okay, and the question from JR. Thank you for the question. Do you have recommended chemicals for sealing or color coating PA12 prints? Yes, we do. And very short, we're going to present the recommendation on our website. So I'm going to send you the link. And you will find all the recommendations also in our new catalog that is coming to us, and we're gonna deliver to the clients and our distributors in a week. So very soon you're gonna also receive it in our new catalog. Okay, how does the coating work, and is it around every particle? Does all materials already have a coating around it?
Maybe I can answer that question, at least for the BASF material, the ultra-cured coat F. So it is a water-based coating, so two-component coating, and you add it after printing. So it's possible to apply it via spray coating or dip coating with, I would say standard equipment. And if you need further processing guidelines, we can definitely provide you with them as well.
Okay, thank you, Andrea, for the question, and Valentin for the answer. And now, Eric, are there specific slicer settings for the holes, X, Y compensation? They seem to print as be ovals, not circles.
Okay, so it all depends of the model, of course, of the geometric of the models, but we recommend if you want to achieve as oval size of the hole as you can get, please place it on flat in the slicer. That should give you the best results. Of course, you have to bear in mind other derivatives that you have to follow in case of placing the models. But please take in mind that when you put it on flat, the circle will be perfect.
Okay, thank you very much. And it seems that we already answered all the questions. So I hope that you're gonna like this Q&A sessions, and then we can provide more. And if you want to stay in touch with us, so please visit our website or contact our distributors. We'll be also too happy if you follow us on social media. Then it's a good opportunity to be online with our updates. And so thank you for attending, and thank you, Valentin, thank you, Stefan, for answering the questions, and Radek and Michał. You all have done a really good job today. And have a good day.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Take care. Goodbye.
See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.